Okay, let's see if we can get this thing out of here. Got two little Torx head screws down here. Now we need to take this harness out. Get it out the way. Now we gotta try and get this thing fished out of here. And the only way we can do that is we have to reach up in here and get that loosened up. Have to do that along both the lower edges. Here and here. Then you can get that loosened up and brought out of there. Then you can work at getting this pulled up and out. And there's something down in there. I forgot what it was. Okay, what I had to do is I had to lift up and pull back firmly, and it finally broke loose. Now I just got to try and get it wiggled out of there. That's the old one. This is the new one. I'm going to see if I can get it in there without taking it all apart, but I don't think I can. Nope. So let me lift this up off of here. Separate that out. Now remember, I've got that tab that's got to push into a slot, and then that's got to go in far enough to where that can latch down. It looks a little bit different than the other one. No, my imagination, it's the same thing. Slide that side down in there. Takes a little bit of wiggling around to get it lined up right. Got to wiggle and move it around a good bit, but you got to be careful doing it because you don't want to break anything. See, I got to get it over in that slot over there. I got it in the slot, so now I'm going to push it in a little bit. And see about getting this over the edges here. Now I've got it down there. I've got those lined up. Now I got to get that black piece back on there. And that's going to be a little bit easier said than done. As you see, there's a hook that has to go around it there. Now, I got that lined up. The trick of it is when you're going back in there, this has to be latched over the side, and this black tab back here has to be behind that right there. So now that I got it back in there, so you can see about getting these screws started. Now I have to put the turn signal bulb back in. And the tail light bulb. Now I have to try and get it back in the hole and plugged up. And now we got a working brake light. Okay, I'm going to see if we do a little bit better job this time. Maybe it'd be more interesting. But we have to get this assembly out. And it's quite big, so you got to take your time. There's 2 screws down here at the bottom. And we've got 2 bulbs to take out. Now the other one, we couldn't get it out without taking the black piece off, so I'm assuming it's going to be about the same thing with this one. I did learn that you have to lift it up, clear the 2 pegs back here, and pull firmly back to release that little clip. And that's not coming out, so I have to get these clips off of here. And that's that one. And that's that one. Gets it freed up and take it out. Now I should be able to wiggle it around like I did on the other one and get it freed up and out of there with any luck. And get it moved over. So I had to swing this in that way, and that get the whole thing over to where I could get it lifted up and roll it right on out of there. A bunch of pretty LEDs. A bunch of LEDs under there. Of course they don't work, so it doesn't do them much good. Now we can't go back in with this in place, so you have to take note of where that piece of plastic is in relation to that piece of metal. Make sure we get it back in the same location. This little clip here goes up. Same thing on this side. Gets it all freed up. Now we can work on getting it down in there. ever so gently with any luck. Well, that didn't seem as gentle as it could be. Well, now it's stuck. I gotta try this again. Here, remember we had this in, was stuck down in there pretty good before. I might actually have to rewind this recording and go back and see how I did it. But see, we don't want to be tugging and breaking and flexing and stuff on them LEDs and break them, because these things are about, I think they're about $100 a piece. Alright, now let's see how we slid that down in there. Now we're good to go on that. Now we got to line up in this little slot down here. There's a slot down in there in that black plastic. You got to get that white tab in there. We got the little tab in there. Now I got to work on getting that out and back up over. I think I'll flex it just a little bit with that. And that should have that in there, and hopefully that tab is still locked, and it is. So this one's going a little bit smoother maybe. Now, let's see if we can get a screw started here. Try a little bit different approach. That's snug. And that's snug. I'm going to look in here and make sure I got that snapped in place. Now, double check and make sure that piece down there is in its slot. And make sure this piece is hooked, and it is. So that one should be ready to go in. Well, not quite. I got to put the light back in there. This harness. And I have to put the turn signal in there. Let's see. We'll go like that. Alright, now these things, the nuts on these things are a little bit of a bear to get off. They seem to go on pretty easy, but they're kind of hard to come off. They do have a long smooth shank on it, so you can slip the nut on there and then run it down there to start the thread, so that makes it kind of nice. But a little bit tedious to get them off because you got to just the angle of everything. I believe it's this one is down easy to get to, and these two here are kind of tough. The plug for the one wire is down there. And there's a lashing clip on it you have to push in and bring it up. Let's see. And when you take it off, there's a plastic piece right there and a matching slot back here. somewhere. There's a matching slot. You have to line that up with that peg. And then you got a alignment peg there, and then the holes for the screws. And like I said, this has got to go right down in here. And then this plug plugs up to the circuit board for the lights, for the LEDs I should say. And that's just a simple cover that you put a little screwdriver in. You see it's got slots right there. You go like that. And the nuts have to go back on. You don't want to forget them. Like I said, you can slide them on them studs, or those studs, because they're long, and then push them up on the threaded area, then roll it back up in there with your thumb. Now, let's see. The other ones are going to be over here. That's a 1. Well, anyways, you get the drift of that. There you can see we got a working brake light there and a working brake light there. The thing that we don't have is a working park light. And I'm really hoping that I'm going to find a blown bulb somewhere. Well, I was finally able to get it all done. We had a blown center bulb in this light, so I went ahead and replaced that in the other one and replaced both license plate lights. In the end, these are all the tools I wound up using: a deep well 10mm socket, 1/4" drive with a flex head ratchet. I used Snap-on, but you could use another brand similar. Used a Snap-on ratcheting bit driver with the T10 bit and flashlight. Changed out these two LED assemblies. And these are the part numbers, and I will write them out and put them in the description as well. We ordered them online. I believe they were on eBay, but they're being sold by a Lexus dealer. And as you can tell from the part, it's a genuine Toyota Lexus part. I'll get all this written up and edited out and hopefully get this posted in a couple days. Sparky out.